Okay, we're back. I know it looks like I'm wearing the same thing as yesterday, but I actually changed my shirt. I got this tea that I really like. Well, actually, it was a little bit disappointing because it sounds like it was going to be really good, but I don't know. It's just like didn't really live up to. It says it's orange, ginger, mint, and it says what it is ginger, and it says orange, bergamot, mint. Like, is that a special kind of mint? Like that's orange and bergamot? Because I really like bergamot, but it didn't really taste like bergamot, so I was like, it just kind of tastes like mint, but like with other weird stuff. Anyways, so there's lots of construction going on. I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to talk today about this article I read about this employee at Yale. I don't really know what he was. I think he's like a service worker who crashed into, he broke one of these like fancy stained glass windows depicting slaves picking cotton, and it's like, you know, for him it was very offensive, you know, and like imagine going to work every day and like seeing that and like performing that type of work where you're, you know, at an elite institution and you are, you know, still dealing with the inequalities that have resulted from the slave trade, and then having that, like, you know, celebrated by art, you know, like in your face, like every day, like he's being charged with like a crime, like he's being charged with like destruction of property or like beyond that, something more than that. I mean, of course, it's like a kind of a violent outburst, but like, it's like symbolically, it's like, pretty rad, you know? If I was, I mean, that's kind of what I would like to do, you know, like, not really, like, I wouldn't want to do it like that, but like, you know, you do have to change things in society. You have to change, like, what we uphold, what we value, if we value that imagery, like, I mean, how would you have to think to value that imagery? You'd have to think that the slave trade and was a good thing, and I mean, there were people who benefited from it, for sure. So, I mean, for some people, it was kind of a period of growth and prosperity, you know. And for other people, it was devastating. I was just reading about Georgetown, I think, was like built on, you know, slave labor, things like that, you know, a lot of slave owners. I'm learning. The thing is, you guys, I am new to the East Coast. This is like the big thing that's going on in my life. It's like I'm from the West Coast, and like I don't think the West Coast has as much of this like deeply ingrained like historical like class like forget like I forget for a minute about like Native Americans and stuff, but like well, don't forget about them, but like let's in like the start of the United States, like European Americans like killing, you know, people and taking over North America, like it happened, it first started like on the East Coast. I mean, yeah, like on the East Coast. So, and like, you know, America didn't expand until later. So where I'm from, like, is like the New World, you know. So it's like a little bit different, you know. It's like, yes, we have like racism and we have Indian reservations and we have like immigrants and stuff like that, but like here, like you can see all of the, you know, the slow progress that one group has developed, and at the expense of other groups, you know. So you can really see that. You can see it in the buildings, you know. There's lots of evidence, and, you know. I'm not really an expert on this, okay? But that story stuck out to me, and so I'm visiting. So I've been like I hang out. I live in the hood, you know. But like I hang out in like different parts. Like this is all like my social research. So like I'll spend time on Wall Street, and I'll also spend time in the hood, and like I study class and gender and things like that. So this whole, I'm going on like a new journey. Like tomorrow I'm going down to like Palm Beach. So Palm Beach is like, I don't know that much about it, but like, you know, like Florida itself is like, has this like social order of like rich white people and like poor Latinos, and that's my image, at least. Like I've been to Disney World, but that should be interesting. It should be interesting. Very sensitive to like differences and power dynamics, things like that. So it should be an interesting like field site, you know, like to study that. Yeah. Like there's this whole culture down there of like, you know, like polo and like the beaches and these like expensive resorts and stuff, but like it's also like a port, you know. Florida is sort of a port. It's a peninsula, right? So lots of immigrants. I guess I'll update tomorrow, but I just wanted to mention that I was very surprised by that activist. I mean, is he an activist? Is he a criminal? You know what I mean? Like, his rebellion is being adjudicated as a crime. When, what about the crimes of the slave owners? What about the injustice of wage labor that exists today, and how certain people's time is worth, X amount, and another person's time is worth way more than that, like. So, I mean, it's not really inciting a strike or anything like that, and it might have been, he might have been a little bit of a, personally had problems, but like, I'm sure he had problems. He probably wasn't making very much money, he was probably struggling a lot, so, the beauty of that piece of art, even if it had some sort of objective, like, aesthetic beauty, how much is that worth? Is he, I wonder if he's going to be punished for that, and to what degree the symbolic crime that he committed, that, the resentment and the anger, how much of that will factor into mitigating the punishment for his crime, like. What is his crime, breaking the window? Or the knowledge of the injustice that is being, waged against him?